Hi, this is Dan Chambers of Chambers Law Firm. This is the latest in a series of videos that we've been doing discussing the potential forensic evidence that might be used against you in your criminal case. One of the most common tools that law enforcement uses to solve a crime is cell phone evidence. So let's talk for a minute about how they obtain that evidence. Typically, when they arrest a suspect for a crime, nowadays almost all of us have our cell phone with us. And if the suspect does not have their cell phone with them, you can bet that law enforcement is going to try to identify a cell phone number associated with that person, get a search warrant, and go into the house or their car and try to look for that cell phone. And it's a lot easier than you would think. Law enforcement can make calls immediately to AT&T, T-Mobile, and put what's called an emergency ping on a cell phone to try to identify immediately where that person is, especially if the crime is very fresh and has just happened. They can put out an emergency ping to try to locate that phone if they have the phone number. And there's also a lot of ways that law enforcement can easily get a phone number for you calling, but through the use of what's called an open source search. And what that means is that you may think you're anonymous and police don't know you, but if they know enough about you and your date of birth, they can run an open source search pretty easily and within a few minutes find a cell number associated with you. And with that, go in and get a magistrate to issue a search warrant to get that data. So, two things usually happen. They will get the phone number and go to AT&T and say, I want all of the call details for this phone number between these hours. And they'll pull that information. Then what they turn around and do is if they're fortunate enough to arrest you and you've got your cell phone with you, they hook it up to a software program, and it's typically called Cellebrite, and they extract all of the data from your cell phone. Now, what you probably don't understand is that this little device right here that you carry around every day carries hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pages of data if you were to print it out in paper form. And they go through that phone and they separate it out by module. So they're going to have your text messages, they're going to have your calls, they're going to have your Facebook app along with your DMs, they're going to have your Instagram along with your DMs. And all they have to do is put in a couple search terms and organize the data so they can say, oh, Dan Chambers exchanged 5 Instagram direct messages with Justin between these times. And then they can give you the text of those as well. So it's a very powerful law enforcement tool, which makes it critical that if there's cell phone evidence that's going to be used in your case, you've got to get a cell phone expert on your side to look at the data and see what can be done with it. Because the other major thing they will do is they will map out the location of where your cell phone was pinging off what tower and be able to walk through your entire day and say, well, he started here at his house and then he went to work and then he went to his girlfriend's and then he went to the scene of the crime. So it's imperative that you use a cell phone expert because they're used in almost every serious felony. And don't forget, Chambers Law Firm always offers a free consultation to you. So if you're facing criminal charges and you find out your cell phone was confiscated and is being used against you, give us a call so that we can give you the weapons to help you defend your case. Thank you.